This asset class right here will make you a lot of money fast if you master it.
Coming up on the Melanin Money Show.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok are all free platforms. Last time I checked. Why do you think it's free?
If every time you text somebody, every time you call somebody, you got something that can help them out, when they see your name, oh shit, like you know, and something's good's gonna happen, right? Versus you always ask for something, they like, man,
You're a bill collector.
the more eyeballs you can get on yourself and your business, the more money you'll make, point blank, period.
Sometimes money, you can't buy your way into everything. Like sometimes like you have to know somebody, you have to have relationships, you have to build rapport. And by virtue of that relationship, it can get you access to things that money ordinarily wouldn't be able to get you access to. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Money Show. And I just realized we did not change clothes. So
Yeah.
it's all good. Promise you we're not wearing the same clothes 2 weeks straight.
We can switch watches.
It's the same watch, though.
No, you got diamonds in yours.
That's not, we keep your watch on.
Oh, I like you. Okay.
But yeah, so I literally just realized that in real time. But it's okay. Like we're you know,
We took a shower this morning.
we did take a shower this morning.
I took
you
a
know?
shower this morning.
This guy. You know, sometimes you gotta batch record so you can stay consistent, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so today we're gonna talk about 3 different asset classes that everybody can and should own that you probably aren't thinking about.
Isn't it crazy how the 3 asset classes we're about to talk about, I don't think school taught me one of them.
School definitely didn't teach you about any of them.
I got 5 years of, like a master's degree in financial literacy.
And then teach about these asset classes,
Okay.
right? So we're gonna teach you about them today on the podcast.
Yeah.
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling amazing, man. We're we're out here in beautiful Orlando. You know, just enjoying the vibes and going to Miami later on today
Going to Miami.
to have a little bit of fun.
That's relational equity right there.
Yeah.
Right. So I met a crazy new fire videographer. I was shooting some content earlier this week. So it literally happened this week.
Yeah.
And so we exchanged contact info. And then he's actually in the room right now. I don't know if this is weird for him, but we exchanged contact info. And then I was going to the Drake concert that night. And then he was like, yo, well, I don't know if you want to go to the Drake concert again, but I got like a plug for like backstage pass if you want. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I didn't end up making that just because I had just went to the Drake concert.
Yeah.
And then he hit me again. He was like, yo, I'm going to Miami on Saturday. I'm like, it's crazy. I'm going to be in Miami on Saturday.
Yeah.
Are you going to be in Miami with a yacht though?
Yeah, he's like, pull up at that boat time. I'm like, bro, I'm canceling my flight. I ain't pulling up with you.
So Carter decided to tap in on that.
Yeah.
And then it was one other thing. So, then the studio.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
we have our assistant scrambling, like looking for a podcast studio. I was like, yo, you haven't known anybody with a podcast studio? Do I? Right? So that's actually, we'll start there. Relational equity.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So sometimes money you can't buy your way into everything, right? Like sometimes like you have to know somebody, you have to have relationships, you have to build rapport. And by virtue of that relationship, it can get you access to things that money ordinarily wouldn't be able to get you access to, right? Like, because even if I had the money to buy the backstage passes, I wouldn't have even known like how to
Can
go
you
about
even
it.
buy backstage passes to a Drake concert? I don't think you could buy like,
Yeah,
you can't buy backstage
yeah, exactly.
passes. Yeah.
Right. So or maybe you can fact check us if you want,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But like the more story is, I wouldn't have known it was an option.
Yeah.
Right. So having access to the right people and the right relationships can be key. And actually, I want you to talk a little bit about something that you've done since I met you, that helped build relational equity.
Yeah, so I didn't know the importance of relational equity until I got my first mentor, right? And although I did pay him to be my mentor, like some of the things he did for me was like out of the scope of the pay, right? So I remember trying my hardest. It's crazy, I got the shirt on. So I remember trying my hardest to be on the Social Proof podcast, right? With David Shands. And I'm like, yo, like I'm DMing David every day. I'm boom, boom, boom. I'm like, yo, I really want to be on this podcast. Shout out to Social Proof. And then my mentor was like, I was like, man, like I really want to be on Social Proof. He said, well, bro, why didn't you ask me earlier? He said, say less. Put me in a group chat with David Shands on Instagram. Like, yo, my boy Carter, get him on Social Proof podcast. David responded, 30 seconds. All right, man, we trying to fly to Atlanta. Can you do next week?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. I'll be there next week. Boom. Episode booked. And like, I'm like, yo, I've been texting David, asking, can I pay him this amount of money? Can I do this? None of that. One relationship got me directly in the room, and that podcast was like trajectory to my influence that I have today. So that's when I understand like the importance of relationship equity, because I couldn't buy my way into that room. I had to like, one relationship got me in that room. So one thing that since that day, I'm like, all right, how can I become a person to where like I have more of those relationships within the snack of a button or a request, I can get into any room that I desire to be in. So I just took a list of all of my like my dream 50 people. So I had people that were friends, people that were like colleagues, and people that I one day wanted to meet, and I just put all their names into this Excel spreadsheet, and I just put in another column, how can I help this person? Right? And I like money, like all right, I might have a relationship, I might have a resource, and I'll like study their page and like, this person probably needs this. And I'll put it all in a column. Then every Wednesday, I call it Relationship Wednesdays, I spend an hour going down that list and doing at least 5 to 10 people on that list and just doing something
You should have
nice.
called it Future Friend Fridays. Relationship Wednesdays does not have a ring to it, by the way. Relationship Wednesdays just kind of block. It's cool, but
I mean, it's my thing. Though.
It's your thing.
Yeah, you can do yours on Friday. I'm doing mine on Wednesday.
It would have sounded better if you did Future Friend Fridays.
Okay,
Like,
all right.
Tomato.
Anyway.
Proceed.
Yeah, but I spend an hour a day doing those favors for people in unasked. Like, imagine hitting somebody up randomly, like, hey, man, I saw that on your social media you mentioned that you wish you had a dope videographer. Here goes 4 videographers that I work with and that live close to you, man. I hope you're having a good day. Randomly, people are like, yo, like, that's crazy. Thank you.
Especially people who are like, high level, because people are always asking them for something, right?
Yeah.
They're always the one giving out this, giving out that. So when someone else finally just unsolicited reaches out to them and adds value, it's going to actually stand out, right? Because like you're not amongst all the other requests.
Yeah.
Which I think we talked about on another podcast, like how like people don't realize like how many requests we get in a day, right? And so relational equity is super, super powerful, man, because our human design is reciprocity. Unless you're just like a sociopath or something, right? Like by design, we operate with reciprocity. If someone does something for you, if you're a natural, normal human being, you're going to want to try to return the favor in some way, right? So, oh, Dan, you did that. How can I help you? How can I add value to you? Or what is it that you've been trying to, get access to, or whatever the case may be? So when you do that for people, relational equity, like you can make those deposits, and I like to stack the deposits, right? Like I don't like to just like make it transactional, because the thing I'm doing it with the intent of just adding value. Of course, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, I know that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, I would love to be able to call in a favor from that person, but I'm not doing it with that intent. And I think people can feel that, right? So for example, we got a big experience coming up in a couple months that y'all hear more about soon. And we got some favors that we can easily call in because of the relational equity that we've established, right? But when you don't do anything for people and you just always the person that's asking for something, it's very hard to call in those favors.
Yep.
Right?
Because you don't have, your bank account's empty.
Your relational bank account
you made
empty.
it a relationship deposit into somebody.
Big facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you might have to be intentional about it, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, like
you have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Like standardize the process so you can customize the experience, right? So like have that Excel spreadsheet. I have a Monday board, right? Monday is a project management tool. It has every person that I'm already connected with, that I care about, that I need to be checking on, everybody that I want to connect with. And to your point, like what have I done for them lately, right? What have I done for them lately? Because like, at the end of the day, these are relationships, and relationships are maintained through genuine connection, right? You can optimize revenue, you can't optimize relationships, right? You have to actually be there for people. And one of my favorite quotes is, compassion requires interruption. When someone needs you, it's rarely ever going to align perfectly when it fits into your lifestyle, right? Because if that was the case, it would be easy, right? So when people need you to show up for them, are you there to show up for them? People remember that stuff. Are you the person that is pouring into them versus taking out of their cup? Because if you can do that, you can build the asset class of relational equity.
Yeah, because you want to be that person, like when somebody sees your name on their phone, they want to answer the phone.
Right.
Like if every time you text somebody, every time you call somebody, you got something that can help them out, when they see your name, oh shit, and even if it is a request, they're gonna answer the phone because they're so used to when they see your name, like something's good's gonna happen, right? Versus you always asking for something, they like, man,
you're a bill collector, right? You want to be the person that's looked at as a bill collector, or the person that looks like you better give them some money,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like which one? If the bank calling and you don't owe nobody, you gonna answer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like if they calling you about overdraft, maybe not gonna answer.
You know how like you see that mail, it's like you think it's check, you get the check, you snatching that joint open, right? So you want that to be people's reaction when they see your phone. The same way you react when you see that check come in the mail, like when your name pop up on somebody's phone, you want to be like, oh, they probably got some money for me. They probably got some ways they can help me out. So relationship equity, man, it's huge.
Right, big asset class. So make sure you start building your relational equity. Okay, cool. 2, we actually talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, not in the formal sense, but intellectual property. Okay. Right? Intellectual property is I think probably one of the most important asset classes there is, right? Because when you have intellectual property, and just to break it down in layman's terms, that means that you have something in your brain that you extracted from it, and now you have made it tangible so that you can sell it, people can license it. It's very, very valuable. Like, so for example, if you've ever gone to Walmart or Target and seen Disney stuff, right? Because we're in Orlando, so it's kind of timely, right? Disney was able to license the rights of that to Walmart, right? Or a team can license the right, excuse me, of like a jersey or something to like for another store to sell, right? Intellectual property is a huge asset class.
Yeah, I think that more people need to like understand that we all have intellectual property, right? Intellectual property is a thought. Intellectual property is a concept that you came up with, that you own. You need to get it patented, by the way, right? Patented, not trademark. Trademark is for patent is for the IP, right?
Don't give me the line. It depends. I mean, because technically, trademark can be for IP.
Okay. So, you own that, and you're able to sell it. You're able to license it to other people. You're able to like distribute it in other ways. And again, you still get paid off your idea, right? So we have all these ideas, and we make them into businesses. Why not let somebody else leverage it and pay you for it?
Big facts, right? Because the thing about IP is probably the most legacy-driven asset class, right? So, for example, this is IP, right? Like, you know, when I'm no longer here, my son, Legend, can go back and watch at that point, thousands of podcast episodes, thousands of other pieces of content, right? Like because I took what was in my brain and I got it out, right? So my book comes out next year, same thing, right? So like intellectual property is so valuable because you're literally scaling yourself, right? And you can sell it, you can package it up, you can license it, you can do whatever you want with it. And so I really like intellectual property as an asset class. Most people don't talk about it. Even when you have a business and you exit the business, like intellectual property is listed as an asset as a part of the sale, right? It's like, and sometimes people say, well, you can keep this aspect of the business, but I'm gonna own my IP and I'm gonna license it back to you
so I can still
be able to use it. Exactly, right? So don't underestimate the power of the intellectual property that you're creating. Right now, we're seeing a shift in the education space, and not as many people are going to go to college in a traditional sense, right? And I've talked about this in several podcasts in the past. Right, the better you get at your craft, the more well-known you become for doing what you do, you'll be in a position to where you can license your IP to educational institutions. I believe that, right? Yeah. I believe that that's where we're going. I believe that's the only way they're going to survive. Like the Yales and the Harvards, they'll survive off brand, IP, right? But the smaller colleges, right, they're not going to be able to survive. The only way they're going to be able to survive is brand. Oh, so you mean to tell me this particular creator has a course that is licensed to your school? Okay, yeah, I'll go to the school now, right? So you're going to just see a complete, now I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but you're going to see a radical shift in the education space. And the more IP you can create now, the better off you'll be in the long run.
Yeah, and I think that like some companies are already doing, like Google has their own school that you can go to, like, you know, to get licensed on, trained on their system, so you can go straight work for them. So I think our IP cannot be underestimated. And again, as you come up with ideas, make sure you own them via trademark or patent, so that you can be able to resell them or relicense them to other people, especially in the digital education space that we're going towards. Now, before we get in the last one, bro, we have a segment that we're trying to be more consistent about with the Reach of the Week.
Reach of the Week. So, for example, guys, if you see any content,
help us
online, you like, that nigga lying. Like if you know that's the case, like just send us a DM, shoot it over to us, because we want to basically call cap if it's cap, or let you know like, okay, what did they miss out? Because we're not here to like bash any creators, but like we want to make sure that y'all are not getting misinformation. So if you see something that just like seems like it's a stretch, seems like it's a reach, send it to us and we will review it on the show.
Yeah. So this Reach of the Week, I forgot the creator.
Yeah, probably Donald pop up like a graphic.
Yeah. I forgot the creator, but he was talking about a poor man's first class, right? And Oh, it was the real Melanin King.
Okay.
Bro, I fuck with bro. Like, he's a super good content creator. But he was talking about the poor man's first class. And the way he does the poor man's first class is that he buys a ticket he buys a seat on a plane in economy, right? And then he buys 2 refundable tickets directly next to him, right? So he buys the window seat. He also purchases the middle seat and the aisle seat in his same row. Yeah, refundable tickets. And then an hour before the plane takes off, he cancels those refundable tickets. Right? He cancels those refundable, gets his refund, and he said 90% of the time the seats are not booked in time, and he gets to then, once the plane is taken off, lift the armrest. If they lift up, fine spirit, the armrests don't lift up, and then he puts his legs across the seat and then leans his back against the window, and that's his first class.
Did he actually say that? Are you assuming?
No, but he put his legs on the seat and slept across, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he was able to lay back, and that's the poor man's first class. Now, the reason I think that's the reach of the week is because, like,
you're not getting the refreshments.
You're not getting the refreshments, and you have to wait 30 to maybe 7 to 15 days to get the money back on your card, right? So now you got to wait off all these refunds, and then it's not comfortable. Like, laying across the seat is not comfortable. You don't get the perks of first class. Part of the benefits of first class is the way the staff treats you. Yeah, sir, do you need another drink? Sir, can I take that? So you need the washcloth. You don't get the washcloth in the poor man's phone. You better bring that joint in your book bag or something.
Speaking about first class, can we tell y'all a little secret about new money? Right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, we ain't always been flying first class.
No, this is
You know what I'm saying? We ain't always been flying first class. So I thought I was the only one that did this. And so I was at the airport a couple weeks ago. And so first class, they have this like priority lane, right? It's like the lane that you can technically, get on before everybody else. But the thing is, it's like when you buy first class, you don't want to just be sitting on the plane before everybody else, right? So there's a sweet spot, right? There's a sweet spot of you don't want to wait until it's too late to get on the plane because now everybody's already on the plane, right?
But they already see it in the back. They don't see you coming.
They already see it in the back, right? But you don't want to get on too early because then you're just already sitting on the plane and then you're on the plane for too long, right? Yeah. So the sweet spot of like they've been called probably a couple of rows, whatever. Yeah. And it's like a decent amount of people in line. Yeah. You get to walk past all those people. And then, but you get on early enough to be sitting down, so they got to walk past you. Yeah.
So I got it down to like the perfect. So
this is so immature.
It's slightly petty.
It's definitely.
But petty. I am so okay with this. It's why I paid first class price. So the way I got it is like I fly Delta a lot, right? So like they tell first class to board, right? You wait to all the first class and all the military board, and then they call like Comfort Plus. And so you get a, but then when they tell the regular people, like just general get up,
everybody get up, yeah.
Then everybody's in line. You cut in
super
front of
thick ass
all.
line.
You cut in front of all. You actually walk through their line to get to the other side, and then walk past.
So you walk through their line, and
I need to get around. Like I need to get around. So yeah, if you go fly first class and get the bus experience, like don't board when first class boards. That's like. You just get in the first class. You don't know better. You're just way too excited. You want to wait until all the first class board they call the next section, and then you get up and walk past everybody that proceed to get on the plane.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So that is the reach of the week, plus a little telling on ourselves about how we are slightly petty when it comes to first class.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what you do it for, man. You
do it for the comfort and the refreshments.
Yeah, but like it's a bonus. As much as first class flights costing me, I'm leaving with something.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm leaving with something.
That's a fact.
So that was the reach of the week. But again, you can fly the poor man's first class, or just like wait till you make enough money to actually enjoy first class, right?
Because if it's a reach, right? If it's a stretch for you to do it, it's okay. Like we have been flying first class for like it's a fairly new on a consistent level. Yeah, of course I've flown first class here and there in the past. Now, like I do it for the most part almost every time. Yeah, unless it's just ridiculous and it's like a super short flight or something. I'm like, okay,
sometimes it'd be capped out.
Like that's not that deep. Yeah, right.
Hey. Aren't you tired of buying courses in those emotional states when you want to get a result, but then you actually don't do anything with the course? Do you know on average, the completion rate for a course is about 2%? But here's the thing, it's not entirely your fault. The problem is you buy the course, but you don't have access to the source who actually created it.
See, that's why we're doing something different. With the Melanin Millionaire Club, you're not just going to get access to courses. You'll get access to the people who created it so you can get your questions answered. Because it's not just about learning, it's about taking that information so you can start earning. So the Melanin Millionaire Club is going to give you access to courses, but not just that. It's an entire university of information. We have financial flicks. We have hundreds of previous recordings. But more than that, y'all, we have an amazing community of people just like you who are trying to become a first-generation millionaire. So like GA said, like, you can survive without community, but you can't thrive without community. So this is the place you need to be, right?
100%, because here's the thing. If it was just about information, we'd all be billionaires with six packs. So that's why every single Monday, we're going to set the tone for your week with Melanin Millionaire Mondays, where our entire community is going to meet up. The energy is going to be high. We're going to set the intention for what we're going to execute on so we can move the needle forward, and Carter and I and the rest of our team can keep you accountable.
So that's enough information. You see the rest in the club. All you got to do, click the link below, sign up, and start your journey to your first millionaire year. Let's get it, man.
Let's go.
Exit row is the same thing.
same thing, big dog. I just need that leg room.
Yeah.
So like, just do like, and that's with anything in life, right? Like, if you try to do it prematurely, that goes back to like
the stress of like, I just spent my last on this ticket.
Right.
Like, it's gonna take away from the enjoyment of the flight.
Right.
You know
Or we always joke about Uber Black. So my phone dies all the time, period.
Christ,
right? My phone just dies all the time.
Conveniently.
It died anyways, my phone dies all the time.
Yeah, okay.
So, we just go back and forth when we're in the town together. Like, you get the Uber Black, I get the Uber Black. My phone died. So he had to call it a couple of times, in a row. So he's trying to make it seem like I'm strategically allowing my phone to die.
Like he
just so I don't have to call the Uber Black.
He pressed the Uber button and his phone died. I'm like,
you can't make that up.
It's you good at what you do, brother. You're an expert. You're a master.
That's crazy. A master, my phone dying is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I brought that up to say Uber Blacks are not cheap. Like, so I'll be looking at the apps sometimes like, yo, $20, $90, and it's like, do I really want to spend this extra $60 just for Uber Black?
Yeah, my rule of Uber Blacks, if it's more than 2x the regular Uber price, I probably won't get it.
Yeah,
unless it's a scenario where I'm with a chick, or like I'm about to pull up somewhere that needs to, like, But again, do it when you have it, because if you're stressing about the price too much, it probably taking away from the experience.
Right. I'm just frugal, so it just be like, do I really want to pay this?
But
yeah, whatever it is, you don't want to be in a situation where it's an outlier, right? And then now you can't do it for several reasons. One, because now you got exposed.
Taste it, brother.
Right, exactly. Now you got exposed to it, and now you're gonna be mad, and you gotta go back to coach every single flight, right? Or go back to the little stinky you. That's the reason why I do Uber Black, yo. Bro. Some of the Ubers, bro, like, bro, like, who did you just drop off? What have you been eating here?
Bro, so shout out to Dion. He gave me this one story. This is maybe I can't do regular Ubers no more, bro. Because this one story, he pulling up to a speaking event.
Yeah,
and bro, he had a pink suit on, like looking good.
Yeah,
bro.
a pink suit on.
He called the Uber, bro, and the Uber. He said pull up playing 01 Jeezy.
Yeah,
Trapper of the Year.
Yeah,
bro, loud coming out the front and back window, bro. He pulled up to the speaking event smelling like straight, bro. He was hot the whole time, bro. Not turning music down, like jamming. He rolling up in the lap, like, I'm like, bro, I'm out.
He did not care about his reviews.
No. He was short.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
But anyway, back to the original scheduled program. That was worth it. That was good. So the third level of IP or IP asset class is audience and attention. Audience and attention. Now, I don't know if I can. This is they're all important, but this asset class right here will make you a lot of money fast if you master it, right? Because the more eyeballs you can get on yourself and your business, the more money you'll make, point blank, period.
Right, and don't take our word for it. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok are all free platforms. Last time I checked. Yeah. Why do you think it's free? Because we are on the platform. Right, they're getting all these eyeballs, and guess what they get to turn around and do? They get to go to advertisers and say, "Hey, look, well, there's so many people on the platform at all times. You should want to advertise here." And now they can charge advertisers and creators who want to get more access to the attention. Right? Whenever a product is free, you are the product. Right? right? So it's free.
Jesus.
It's free to be on Instagram because you're the product, right? We are the numbers. They get to go back to the advertisers and say, well, this is why you should spend here.
Yeah.
Right. And so don't take my word for it, but like that is why attention is so important. Now, here's the good news. It always kills when people complain about like, Instagram is not showing me and it's just shadow banning me and blah, blah, blah. It's free.
Yeah.
Right.
And do you think Instagram will, if you have 10 million followers, do you think Instagram really gonna let you get in front of 10 million people for free?
You can charge more than a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Period.
No.
Yeah.
It's pay to play, right? So it's like, but the good news is they've created a space and a platform that if you are good, it's a meritocracy. Forget shadow banning. Again, I'm not saying that stuff isn't real, but the reality is if you're good, people will find you. Right? Now, is there strategy? Is there intention? That's not this episode for that. But the moral of the story is if you're good, you can leverage a platform to get access to an infinite amount of eyeballs. If your content is shareable, if it's valuable, if people want to comment, and right? And the more eyeballs you get on you, right, it does a lot of things. So number one is human nature. If I've never followed a person and someone shares something on my story, their stories, and I click on it, this person has 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 followers, the natural assumption is they got to be somebody, right? I know there was an era where people could buy followers and stuff like that, but the natural assumption by default is like, I'm missing out, right? So you get a level of instant credibility based upon your audience size. Number two, from a pure business standpoint, it's a numbers game. If you have more people on your organic funnel, i.e. your social channel, if you press a button that says, I'm selling this, you're going to be able to sell it to more people, right? The percentage might be the same. It might be 20%, but 20% of an audience that's 10,000 versus 20% of an audience that's 100,000 versus 20% of an audience that's 1 million is a big difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'll stop at those two because I see you got something you want to share.
Yeah, because for those of you all that don't think the audience is important or just don't understand the sheer number standpoint, how our audience can help change your life. Like Forbes just came out with their top creators of 2023, right? And like based on followers, it's a pretty synonymous with how much money these people are making. So one of the creators, I forgot how to say his name. The guy from TikTok that has the most TikTok followers. Yeah. 244 million TikTok followers. He's making $16.5 million a year.
It doesn't say a word. It's crazy.
Word, right? Another follow. So Drewski, he has 12 million Instagram followers. He's earning $10 million a year, right? Comedy,
crazy,
right? As an influencer. Another influencer has 29 million followers and makes 8.5 million. So basically, like it's not the dollar for dollar, but like if you have an audience, you can become a multi-millionaire. Like they're making, dude, like 10, 15x with some CEOs.
Facts.
Are making as 20, 30-year-olds with audiences. So the more people that know you, the more people that can flow you. Point blank, period.
Yep. And having an audience is the ultimate leverage mechanism, right? So people can go on podcasts because they're big podcasts and the podcast can charge you to be on that podcast if they want to, right? The podcast gets the ability to get more money from advertisers because of their audience size, right? So like when you have an audience, even if you don't have a product to sell, because of the amount of attention that you have on your platform, you can get so much money because people want access to that attention because the trust of one leads to the acceptance of many. You built an audience, so you have the trust. You're the one they have the trust with, but it leads to the acceptance of everybody that you co-sign.
Yeah, some of my best dollars have been. I would say this: my best advertising dollars are spent by borrowing other people's audiences. Like Facebook ads are cool, which you are borrowing Facebook's audience, but like paying to be on other people's stages, paying to be on other people's shows, paying like because they've spent years gaining the trust of that audience.
Big facts.
And if they co-sign you, you now gain all of that trust and all of that influence over those people overnight. Right. So like if you're starting a business or you have a business trying to scale and bring your audience, like, yo, find a way where you have to pay or whatever to get on other people's stages, other people's platforms, because they already have that trust that you seek to gain. And if they co-sign you, you now get that trust and be able to leverage it.
Yeah, because the problem is people are like playing full court basketball with Tim's on. Right. It's like Like, there's no badge of honor in the slow roll of like, oh, I'm just gonna
taking a slow boat to China.
slow boat to China, right? There's no badge of honor in that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, how can you growth hack? It's the same thing with mentorship. It's like, okay, this mentor's read 1,000 books, and of those 1,000 books, he didn't gain something from every single one of them, or he or she knows exactly what's the best from each book, right? They spend a lot of money on their personal development, right? So multiple six figures more than likely they're a good mentor. So you mean to tell me for pennies on the dollar, I can save myself the decade of time, right, that they spent and the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they spent just by being able to get access to them now at this more refined state. It's the same thing with attention. Okay, this person has been building their audience for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You mean to tell me, even if I do have to pay, I can get on their platform? Because here's the truth. You still got to be good.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the reality is you still have to be good. I always tell people, like, just because you put the Jordans on don't mean you're going to play like Mike. Right? People ask me, where you get that shirt from? Where you get that outfit from? I'll send you the link, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
he ain't gonna look as good as me in the
You know what I'm
small.
saying? Like-
You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna look good as me in the small, brother.
Oh, man. I'll send you the link. But it's
Yeah.
just like, you still got to be good.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, once you get to that point where it's like, man, I'm good, but I'm just the best kept secret. Right? How can I grow my own attention? Because you obviously want to grow your own attention, but the way you're going to grow it faster is by being good, hacking someone's audience. Oh, I like them. I want more of that. The podcast is only an hour. It's only 45 minutes. And then coming back to you, like, oh,
you have to give them a
damn.
reason to stay.
Right, you got to give them a reason to stay.
Yeah.
You can't go on and be a one-hit wonder. They come to your page, it's private, or you got 3 posts from 2 years ago. Like, of course, that's not going to work. You're not going to get your return on investment. But if you are doing the work and you want to grow, now, aside to that, make sure you're ready. Because some of these audiences, because of the trust that they have, they could come in droves. So if you don't have a system or a funnel or whatever it is that you wanted to get out of it ready, you're going to squander the opportunity, right? So you also got to make sure that you're in position to take advantage of it. Make it simple. If you go on somebody's audience, you have a business or a freebie or whatever, text social proof to 704-649. Oh, I was like, my real number. I'm wow.
I
Almost wild
I heard
myself
the
out.
704. I was like,
Yeah, I almost wild
slow
myself
down,
out.
Turbo.
Right, but whatever your number is, right, whatever your real number is, and then now you can have a way to get them in your ecosystem with an identifier that's something that they already trust. So that's the thing that people don't realize. You do that because they trust that brand. So like now you're just giving another subtle way for them to do, oh yeah, I trust the brand. It must be something special for this platform.
Yeah.
But be ready and be prepared for the attention that you're going to receive. Now, let's talk about some of the cons of building up a brand of this or building up this asset class, right? Because it's a great thing. It has way more pros than cons. But there are some cons that come with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, the bigger you are, the more people that wants to throw rocks at the throne, right? So, like, the more you grow an audience, you're gonna have haters. If you don't have haters in life, that means you ain't doing nothing important, right? Period. Like, so one of the things about growing an audience like this is you're gonna have haters. You have people calling you scammers or whatever. But people throw rocks at the throne, not from the throne, right?
Facts.
So you just have to deal with that, shoo it off. Like, it just is what it is, right? And the more people that follow you, the more attention you have. People want that attention. So now you're a commodity. Now you have people reaching out, asking like we talked about this last episode, the amount of people that DM me like and say, yo, I got a quick question. Like, first of all, it's not quick because then you hit me with the paragraph, right? And then you don't know the 75 other people that just DM me saying the same thing. So it's like, you just have to learn how to deal with that. But like you said, the pros dramatically outweigh the cons.
Right. Kylie Jenner became a billionaire because of attention.
Which is
Right.
ridiculous.
Now, you might not agree with the paths and the mediums in which the Kardashian family goes about what they do, but the results are undeniable. And you don't have to be them or do it in the way that they do it to win, right? You can be yourself, you can be authentic in whatever way you want to do it, and you can win because there's always an audience because the world is so big and we live in this digital space. There's always somebody who's going to be interested, right? Like, and that's the beautiful part about building an online audience because you can reach so many people. You can be yourself, and there's going to be people who are interested in training their cat or whatever the case may be, or people interested in comic books or interested in sneakers. And so you can be yourself, but you got to start and you got to understand the massive leverage that can come with building attention as an asset class.
Yeah, y'all. So those are 3 asset classes: attention/audience, intellectual property, and building relationships. If you do one of the 3, you make dramatically more money than you're making right now. If you do all 3 of them,
Let me borrow some money if you do all three.
Yeah. Because then you'll be on your way to financial freedom and just making more money. So that's another episode of the Melanin Money Show. Comment below, subscribe, and share with a friend if you've gained anything from this episode. We'll see you all next time. Peace.